What if I told you there are ordinary businesses, sitting on ordinary street corners, quietly generating over $1,000 a day, while most people walk right past them without a second glance? No viral app. No overnight fame. No lucky break. Just brick, mortar, and a system that works while you sleep. You've been taught to look for money in the wrong places. You scroll for the next big side hustle. You chase trends that burn out in a season. Meanwhile, a few miles from where you're sitting right now, there's a business older than the internet itself, still cashing in every single day. This isn't a story about luck. It's a story about assets, the kind that keep paying you long after the excitement wears off. Today, you're going to see 10 of them. Real businesses. Real numbers. Real risks. By the end, you won't look at the world around you the same way again. Every year, millions of people chase the same dream. A viral idea, a get-rich-quick app, a trend that promises to make them rich by Friday. Most of them fail quietly, and you never hear about it. But there's another path. It's less glamorous. It doesn't trend on social media. It's the path of the business owner who shows up every day, reinvests every dollar, and builds something that outlives the hype. You're about to walk through 10 of those businesses. Some you've seen 1,000 times without noticing. Others you've never considered. All of them share one thing, the potential, under the right conditions, to generate $1,000 a day or more. Remember this as we go, none of these numbers are guaranteed. Location decides half your fate before you even open the doors. Demand shifts. Competition arrives. Management makes or breaks the math. And capital determines how fast you can survive the slow months. Keep that in mind, because the businesses that look simplest are often the hardest to run well. Let's begin. Number 10. The car wash. You've driven past 100 of them without a second thought. But a well-located car wash, especially an automated or self-serve model, can process dozens of vehicles an hour with almost no staff. The startup cost is steep, often between $200,000 and $500,000 for land, equipment, and permits. But once it's built, the machine does the work. Average daily revenue can range from $600 to over $2,000, depending on traffic and season. Main expenses are water, electricity, and equipment maintenance, which means profit margins can be remarkably high once the loan is paid down. Estimated daily profit potential sits between $300 and $1,200 on a strong location. The biggest risk is weather. Rainy seasons can gut revenue for weeks. And owners who skip regular maintenance often watch their equipment, and their profits, break down together. The real-world insight. The most successful car washes aren't the fanciest. They're the ones on the busiest street corner, visible from both directions of traffic, with an entrance easy enough for a driver to turn into on a whim. Number 9. The laundromat. It's unglamorous. It's overlooked. And it's one of the most resilient cash businesses in existence, because people will always need clean clothes. Startup costs range from $200,000 to $400,000 for machines, plumbing, and lease build-out. But laundromats run almost entirely on autopilot once they're set up. Some owners visit only a few hours a week. Daily revenue often falls between $400 and $1,500. Expenses are mostly utilities and machine upkeep. That leaves profit potential in the range of $200 to $800 a day. The biggest risk is oversaturation, too many laundromats competing for the same apartment complexes and college students. And the owners who fail are usually the ones who never modernized, still running machines that eat coins and customer patience in equal measure. Here's the insight most people miss: the highest performing laundromats aren't the biggest. They're the cleanest, safest, and most well-lit, because in a cash business open late at night, trust is the real product being sold. Number 8. The vending machine route. This is the quiet business empire nobody talks about. A well-placed portfolio of vending machines in office buildings, gyms, and schools can add up to real money without ever needing a storefront. Startup costs are lower here. Often $3,000 to $5,000 per machine, with serious operators running 10, 20, or 50 machines across a city. Daily revenue per machine can range from $5 to $50, but multiplied across a large route, that adds up to $800 a day or more. Expenses are inventory and occasional repairs. Profit margins can be shockingly high once volume kicks in. The biggest risk is location turnover. Lose a contract with a building, lose that income stream overnight. And most people who fail in this business simply never scale past 2 or 3 machines, treating it as a hobby instead of a route. The insight that separates winners here: the money isn't in the snacks. It's in the exclusivity contracts locking competitors out of high-traffic buildings. Number 7. The mobile detailing business. No storefront. No massive lease. Just a van, supplies, and a calendar that fills up fast in the right neighborhood. Startup costs are refreshingly low, $5,000 to $20,000 for equipment and a reliable vehicle. A skilled operator can book 4 to 6 premium details a day, each ranging from $150 to $400. That puts daily revenue between $600 and $2,000, with profit potential of $400 to $1,500 once supplies and gas are covered. The biggest risk is inconsistency. A rainy week or a slow month can wreck the schedule. And most owners who fail simply never build a repeat client base, chasing one-time customers instead of ongoing contracts with car dealerships or corporate fleets. The insight: the real money isn't in individual details. It's in landing a single contract with a dealership needing 20 cars detailed a week, turning unpredictable income into a steady, almost boring paycheck. Number 6. The food truck. It's the business that looks like passion and operates like precision. The best food trucks aren't chasing foot traffic, they're chasing events, festivals, and office parks with hungry, captive audiences. Startup costs range from $50,000 to $150,000 for the truck, kitchen equipment, and permits. On a strong day, revenue can range from $800 to $2,500. Expenses include food cost, fuel, and staffing, often eating 40 to 50% of revenue. That leaves profit potential of $300 to $1,200 a day. The biggest risk is burnout. This is one of the most physically demanding businesses on this list. And the owners who fail are usually the ones who never diversified their locations, parking in the same low-traffic spot every day instead of chasing the events where the real money lives. The insight: the trucks that thrive treat their menu like a weapon, small, focused, and fast to execute, so a line of 20 people moves in under 10 minutes. Number 5. The self-storage facility. This is one of the most quietly profitable businesses in America, because once a customer moves their belongings in, inertia does the selling for you. Startup costs are significant, $300,000 to over $1 million depending on land and unit count. But once built, storage facilities require minimal staff and minimal daily management. Daily revenue on a mid-sized facility can range from $600 to $2,000. Expenses are largely fixed: insurance, security, and light maintenance, meaning profit margins can climb above 50%. Estimated daily profit potential sits between $400 and $1,500. The biggest risk is upfront capital and slow lease-up in the first year or two. Owners who fail usually underestimated how long it takes to fill a new facility to profitable occupancy. The insight: the smartest operators buy existing facilities with tenants already in place, skipping the slow, expensive climb to full occupancy entirely. Number 4. The commercial cleaning company. No flashy branding. No viral marketing. Just contracts with office buildings that need to be spotless every single morning before anyone walks in. Startup costs are low. $5,000 to $25,000 for supplies and initial staffing. Revenue scales directly with contracts. A company managing several office accounts can generate $1,000 to $3,000 a day. Main expenses are labor and supplies, leaving profit potential of $400 to $1,500 once the business has enough contracts to justify a small team. The biggest risk is labor turnover. Cleaning staff churn quickly, and inconsistent quality can lose a contract overnight. Owners who fail usually try to do the cleaning themselves indefinitely instead of hiring and systematizing. The insight: the real profit doesn't come from cleaning harder. It comes from operating leaner than competitors bidding for the same contracts, winning on reliability rather than price. Number 3. The auto repair shop. Cars break down in every economy, in every season, in every city. That single fact makes this one of the most recession-resistant businesses on this list. Startup costs range from $100,000 to $300,000 for equipment, lease, and licensing. A busy shop with a few technicians can bring in $1,500 to $4,000 a day. Expenses include parts, labor, and rent, often consuming 60 to 70% of revenue. That leaves profit potential of $500 to $1,800 a day. The biggest risk is finding and retaining skilled technicians. The entire business lives or dies on their expertise. Owners who fail usually chase volume over trust, and in an industry built on reputation, that trade-off rarely ends well. The insight: the shops with lines out the door aren't the cheapest. They're the ones customers trust not to oversell a repair they don't need. Number 2. The boutique fitness studio. People will cut almost anything from their budget before they cut the habit that makes them feel like themselves again. That's the quiet engine behind this business. Startup costs range from $80,000 to $250,000 for lease build-out and equipment. A studio running several classes a day with a loyal membership base can generate $1,000 to $3,000 daily. Expenses include rent, instructor pay, and equipment upkeep, leaving profit potential of $400 to $1,400 a day. The biggest risk is membership churn. The entire model depends on people renewing month after month. Owners who fail usually overinvest in aesthetics and underinvest in the community that keeps members coming back. The insight: the studios that thrive aren't selling workouts. They're selling belonging, and belonging is far harder for a competitor to copy than a set of dumbbells. Number 1. The short-term rental portfolio. Not a single unit. A portfolio: several properties, professionally managed, positioned in high-demand areas where travelers pay a premium for a place that feels like home. Startup costs vary wildly, from $50,000 for a single arbitraged unit to millions for owned properties, but the model that scales fastest often starts with leased units rather than owned ones. A well-run portfolio of several properties can generate $1,500 to $4,000 a day in total revenue. Expenses include rent or mortgage, cleaning, and platform fees, often consuming 50 to 60% of revenue. That leaves profit potential of $600 to $1,800 a day across the portfolio. The biggest risk is regulation. Cities change short-term rental laws overnight, and an entire business model can vanish with one city council vote. Owners who fail usually over-leveraged into too many units too quickly, without a cushion for the regulatory risk that always eventually arrives. The insight: the operators who survive long-term never treat this as a rental business. They treat it as a hospitality business, and hospitality is what keeps guests paying a premium instead of shopping for the cheapest listing on the block. You've just walked through 10 businesses hiding in plain sight, not one of them dependent on luck, virality, or timing the market perfectly. But here's what actually matters. The goal was never simply to own a business. Owning a business that demands your presence every hour of every day is just a different kind of job. The real goal is to own an asset, something that keeps generating income long after you've stopped trading your time for money. That's the difference between working in a business and owning one. Every business on this list can fail. Every business on this list can also become the foundation of a life you don't have to clock out of. The only question left is which one you'll stop walking past.